What up, fellas? Alright, so this is a quick video on why do I look bad in pictures. So first and foremost, usually it isn't us. I mean, sometimes we can improve our outfit depends, or like our hair or our skin, etc. But this is how to take pictures, how to look good in pictures, how to be more photogenic. Because a lot of the times it's not actually you, it's just the camera, the person who takes the camera, etc. So I'm going to tell you how I look good in pictures from my own experiences and some techniques that you can adopt to look better in pictures, poses, etc. Let's get into it. So you're probably wondering, okay, what experience do I have with photography or cameras or posing? That's a good question, because I feel like this is, I think it's a subjective thing on how to pose good, etc. But game recognizes game. So what I've been doing for the last few years is photography itself, actually, and modeling. And I've been doing, okay, well, Drake said, if you're not a model unless you've been in Vogue, so I guess I'm not a model. So there's a few different things. One, it's you, the person who poses, and two, the person who's taking the photos. If you have a tripod, this takes out the second step and it kind of makes it more easier, but it's more preparing on your end. This is what I used to do, and this is why I still do time and time again for photography. You just put a tripod, put a timer, and I just want to say you do not need a legit camera or anything. You can use a film camera or even your iPhone for something. You don't need $1,000 lenses or anything. The basics is, first things first, you got to go out there and just do it. Literally, you have to take action. It's as simple as that. And yes, you will take some shitty ass pictures, but where does experience come from? Where does growth come from? Actually doing it. So if you're like, yeah, I already took some pictures with some friends, but I still look bad. Well, I feel like the majority of people who are watching this, they haven't even took that first step. So go do that. Report back after you're doing that. And this is called roses, buds, and thorns. This is a strategy or a technique that I'm going to talk about a lot. After taking some pictures, or after having, a photo shoot, let's say, whether that's by yourself on a tripod or with some friends who are interested as well, you review the pictures that you're interested in, or the pictures that you like the most. What did you do there? How did you pose? The pictures that you hate the most, what did you do to not like them? What did you do for them not to be favorable? And the pictures that you're like, okay, this has potential. I like this aspect of it, but I don't like the other aspect. So you really have to go in there and dissect what you like, because we each are different. We have different poses, different angles, different preferences for what pictures we like and what we're trying to show off. And I think this should be as raw and authentic. We want to portray ourselves as how we like to see ourselves, not the dude with the big watch just to impress people. If that's you, sure, but if we want to be whatever angle, if we want to be stoic, or just go for it. That's the art of it. Remember, this is an art, and it's also a skill that we build. A few tips and tricks that I've picked up over the years of doing this is you want to use your limbs. Your limbs have so many different angles. I remember in art class we had this kind of mannequin thing. It was probably this big, and all the limbs were movable, and you could move it like this. Same thing with photography. You really can get technical with it and very precise with it, because I'm not trying to do anything crazy. I'm not trying to pose for you, but you can really fix it up. And this is, I can imagine you're doing this in your bedroom, chest up, etc., etc. It can really get technical, and posture is a really important thing. I feel like practicing in the mirror or just on your phone is good to see what it would look like, because sometimes we have this skewed image of how we look in our head. Oh, I'm like some ugly dude who can't pose. But then we take some pictures and we're like, oh, that's not bad. I just need to fix this and it'll be good. Another thing that I suggest is take more pictures. With practice comes closer to perfection. I think that this is a skill that we need to use and build because this isn't a thing that we normally do. It's something that's new, it's different to us, so we have to be patient with it. Also, on top of that, I think watching YouTube videos on the basics of it as well to really understand what camera you're working with and what angles you prefer is basically the building blocks. It's the base foundations to your photography and how you take pictures of yourself. And I believe that this needs to be done first. So let's do an example real quick. Let's say I'm using my phone and I'm taking pictures. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the 0.5. This distorts your face and is a fisheye lens. Most of the time it's kind of, we're shooting at a lower focal length that has this distorted image of us. Now you can look this up about the differences in focal lengths. The more compressed look that we look like that we see on models is typically a 56 millimeter to 85 millimeter, because the smaller the focal length is, so let's say 16 or 24, I think that's 1x on the iPhone, 24, it's not as realistic because our eyes see, I'm not sure what the statistic is, I think it's like 56 or like 80 something, our eyes, the focal length in our eyes. So when we take pictures, it's not even the same things that our eyes see. It's like some distorted shit, and we're like, no wonder we think we're ugly, because this is telling us a lie. This is lying to us. This is not what I look like. This is like some distorted, it's a lie. So you have to be perspicacious enough to understand this, that if we're shooting at the wrong focal length, it makes us look weird and how we're not supposed to. Sometimes, and even in mirrors, when we look at the mirror and we're like, yeah, I don't like how I look or something. The lighting, I'm not sure about this, but I feel like the lighting's off. Obviously, angles play a part, and if you have like a mirror tilted up or down, that affects it as well, the light. So I want you to keep that in mind. Typically what I like to do is at least 2x on the iPhone. I'm not sure what, that would be the 52 millimeter. This is typically better for photography taking. I think at least 50 millimeter is the sweet spot because it compresses you and it shows that this is what our eye sees more accurately than some skewed fisheye kind of distorted image. So I just want you to keep that in mind. That's something that I've learned, because I was always thinking, like, why do I look terrible in pictures? Oh, it's actually the camera. It's not at the right focal length. And the more you compress the image, let's say if we're shooting from about 50 to 70, if you're shooting on a camera, you're going to get some background bokeh, and it's going to separate you from the background. So that's pretty much the basic rundown of this. I want you to actually, if you're interested in taking good pictures of yourself and taking good pictures of others, 1, practice, 2, review the footage and understand what you like, what angles you like, what you don't like, and what you can improve on. This is a skill we must build, and it's something that we're going to have to continue to do to get better. And once we get the skill level that we want, we can at least keep it and maintain it. And I believe that this is an important skill because we have cameras every day, and it's fascinating to document our everyday life. We go on a trip and we forget about it. Why didn't you document it? You could have showed it to your friends or your family to get them in the experience and kind of show them what it was like as well. So that's a basic rundown. I hope I've inspired you to go and look and try photography, because I believe this is very important as well. Pictures are not only expressions, but they can also be used to market yourself. Whatever way you want to use that as, you can market yourself towards women or LinkedIn or how professional you are, whatever. Pictures represent your brand. This is why we must need good ones.